Well, welcome to another vlog. Let's see, it is Tuesday. I uploaded the last vlog on the Clown Hall panels last Thursday. It is now Tuesday, like I said. So we've had our weekend, we're back into town. And I just finished up on the Clown Hall panels. I had a few more that need little paintings and touch-ups and stuff. Got the shop cleaned up. Things put away. Now we're getting started on our next project. And this is all part of the mausoleum stuff. These are the bases for the pillars that hold the arches for the entrance and the exit. And as you can see, they're kind of marked up. Top's getting really weathered. Needs to be repainted. So I gotta go through and start prepping. With these, it's real easy. All I gotta do is go through and sand out the surface, repaint, redetail, and those are done. It's basically just time consuming, especially if I decide what I want to do with the circles. These, on the other hand, are gonna take a little bit more time. These are the actual pillars, and I've still got them set up in their Christmas configuration. Yes, I use these for Christmas. This is what sits behind our skeleton choir that we put out at Christmas. And then during Halloween, 4 of them sit up on top of that, and then I put my arches on top. But as you can see there, it's been a couple years since I painted them, and the paint's starting to peel and flake. And I noticed a little bit of it last year at Halloween and at Christmas, but with the winter and everything else, they were getting pretty bad. So, and I should say, this is only part 1 of the project, is getting this end of it done. There is a part 2, which you will see in this vlog. But I gotta get those pillars all torn apart. Like I said, with those, I just gotta sand the tops and do a little bit of cleanup around the sides and on the bottoms, and those will be ready for paint. These, I've got to break down, and then I'm gonna do a low pressure wash on them to get all the loose paint and stuff off, and then they'll get repainted. Now the pillars are plastic. Bought these at Spirit Halloween, actually, at the end of the season. They had a display that had them all up, as part of the display. I bought them. Didn't use them in my haunt that year. I got them the day before Halloween, and by then it was too late to incorporate them into the haunt because we were already open for the public. So I didn't use them, and I used them for the Christmas display, I think it was, that year, and then they've been Halloween after that. So they've gotten some use, but anyway, gotta break them apart, clean them up, get them repainted. That's stage 1 of the next project. Stage 2 is going to be an interesting one. And we got a Kaylee in the segment. She's out here helping. So was Morgan, for that matter. I didn't set the camera up. I didn't want it getting wet. But we got the hose out with a high pressure nozzle on it. Watch out, Kiki. And I went over all the parts to all the pillars. I'm soaked. Morgan's, well, not totally soaked, but wet. We got paint all over the yard, which I'll have to wait till it dries and I can mow. But I'm going to let these things sit out here for a while. I got to go in and change clothes. I want to drip dry a bit. And then we'll get these into the shop and get the bases and these painted. In the meantime, last night I got started on another crucial project, which I'm working on in the evenings. Let's take the camera down. I'll show you what I'm working on downstairs. In some dry clothes. Feel a lot better now. Kaylee came down. She's hanging out. I brought a snack down if she wants a snack. But I mentioned outside that I had another project I was working on. And it's basically our flyers. We started last night. We have 3 different flyers that we do all together. We have a post-it one, which gets posted, around 8-9 different places in town. And basically had our logo, pictures of the haunt on it, And naturally the dates, the hours, locations, the fact that we're free admission, we take donations, some go to Make-A-Wish, has our email and our Facebook page on it. And then this year I went and added our club logo to it. Proud member of the Northwest Hunters Association, with the logo that Crivolone designed. And then over here, these I got to cut. I got 150 pages, so there's 300 handouts here. I just got to get them cut. They're still on the full page. And it's basically the same as the big one, just a little bit more simplified, but it's the same information. And normally we just go with that. This year, though, on the back side, I put a bigger copy of our logo, proud member of, and then added, to find more haunted houses around the Pacific Northwest, please visit, and I gave the web link for the Haunters map. Hopefully, local people, and maybe we get a lot of other home hunters that do come through. We'll get the see these and go to the website. We might get some more members over here, because I think right now I'm the only one in Yakima. The closest, next two closest haunts, one's just north of us by about a half hour, and the other one's south of us by about 45 minutes. But that should drive some, it'll help get word out about the haunt. But we go from that to that, and then I did this, and these I call my VIP pass. What these are is we have close friends, the people that hang the flyers or hand out the flyers and stuff. We give them a couple of these, and this is good for the, like this year we open on the 25th. This is good for the night of the 24th only. And it's the night before we open to the public. And we're open for 2 hours, 6:30 to 8:30. And anyone that has one of these, plus 3 of their friends, can come down and go through the haunt. We use it as a stress test. When they go, when they get ready to go through, we ask them, to kind of keep an eye on things, take a look at things. If you see anything you think might need to be adjusted, whether it's lighting, something's not firing right away, as far as one of the props, something's too noisy or not noisy enough, that sort of thing. And they help me stress test it. And then the next morning, before we open to the public, I can go out and make adjustments, settings. If it's something that has to be done at night, I'll do it the night of the stress test. We'll get everything dialed in. It just helps me dial in the haunt. And normally I hand out usually all 50 of the VIP passes, and we get about 30 people through. You figure 50 passes times 3, that's 150 people. Well, actually it'd be about 200 people, 4 people to a pass. So we've never had all 200 come. Nowhere near it. But we'll always get a few, and some of them put something in the donation can, what have you. But it's a way to say thank you to those who are, posting my stuff for me and getting the word out about the haunt. But that's what we're working on in here in the evenings. In fact, I'm going to work on it now while I dry off and things are drying outside, because I can't go anywhere outside anyway until things are dry. But we've got 50 VIP passes. I've got 15 of the handout flyers. Right now, I have 150 pages, so 300 of the small handout ones to had done that need to be cut and separated. I need to print out more. I need about 1,000 of them. So I need about 500 pages printed, and then once they're printed, I can just sit here and cut, until they're all cut out. And it takes a couple of days. But, that's what I'm working on in here. Now we return you to the shop and what's going on out there. Well, that wasn't too bad. It took about an hour and a half. But everything has a coat of black on it now. I got all the pillars, I got stuff there. I even got stuff on the floor. I've forgotten how much room these pillars take once you get them torn apart. So for right now, I've got several hours before I can go on to the next stage, which is the detail work. I've got to come back through and there's detail like here on the base, and the tops have a lot of it. And I'll hit those. I used a Martha Stewart Champagne Gold last time. I've still got some of that left. I don't use it all that much because I didn't particularly like her product. I do have some gold paint left. And I've got silver. You know, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the details as far as coloring. But I'm going to let these dry for a couple hours. It's up in the upper 80s. You know, they should be dry enough to touch by then. And we'll get out here and we'll start doing the detail work and probably have that finished sometime tomorrow. So for right now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to print out flyers. Spend a couple hours doing that. The more I do, the less I have to do. Well, it's been a really crazy week. I haven't had much time out here in the shop as I had planned. Too many other things going on. It is Thursday. It's going on dinner time. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I got my normal Thursday night things to do, and I've got flyers to print. So I'm going to be working on that this evening. So I am done out here in the shop. But I did want to show you what I did get done. As you remember, I think it was last clip, we were out here getting everything washed. I got it in, got everything sprayed black, and I started working on the boxes down here. And those are pretty much finished other than wiping them down to get my dusty fingerprints off of them. I also went and got the columns put together into their sizes. They still need their cap and bottom yet, which I'm currently working on. And I need to come back through and join all the pieces together so they don't fall apart on me. Right now, I've been working on the bottoms. I've got 3 there and that one there that's got the first coat of gray. These definitely need a second, or not gray, excuse me, gold. But they definitely need a second coat of gold on them. And I still have 3 left to do. It's going to have to wait till next week. I still have the caps that need detailing too, and those take even longer to do. So that's going to be next week. Hopefully we'll have these all the painting on these done. I can get them out of the shop, and then we'll get started on phase 2. And you can wait on phase 2. You'll find out about when I get to it, eventually. Might have a couple other small projects crop up. And we'll give you some footage on those as well. But until then, you guys have a good weekend. Next segment will be on Monday. Well, happy Monday, everybody. It's about dinner time. I'm getting ready to head into the house for dinner. And I'm cooking dinner tonight. At least I'm supposed to be. So I was going to call it quits. Now I've got to work on flyers tonight. I found a mistake I got to get corrected. But we did make some progress today. We got the bottoms done and installed on the towers, or on the pillars. And then I went through and joined all the segments together with a screw. One on this side, one on the other side. I still need to go through, give the pillars a wipe down, and then come through, clean up any nicks, paint the screw heads, what have you. But I'll do that after I get the tops done, and that's what I'm working on now, and those things take forever to do. These 3 have the first coat on it. I still have 4 more to do. And then they got to come back through, and some of it's going to get second coat, some of it's not. And I'll be working on that tomorrow. But that's today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. All in all, not too bad of a day today. Been out here working on the tops, and I just got them finished. They've had 2 coats of gold, and I just got done touching up the black. Now all I gotta do is go from here and install them up there, get them attached, which will take all of about 5 minutes. And then we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna take a damp rag, probably with some Windex on it, wipe down all the pillars, and then we'll come back through, get the screw holes and whatever nicks and dings touched up, and phase 1 will be finished. That's going to be first thing tomorrow morning. Phase 1 complete. All the arches are back together and on their boxes. We're done with that end of it. Thank God. I'm getting tired of working on boxes and pillars. But they're done. Now our next stage, phase 2, takes place in here in the shop. And this is the exit arch, the back side of it. Here, go on over here. Alright, there's the front side, car foam. And I got some repairs here and there to do on it. From Kaylee Digging. Her nice sharp claws. Yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus, Kaylee. She's up in the doorway. But our next project is this here. This is the air blaster I made to go in here. I run it at 90 pounds because we have people that walk underneath of this, and I don't want a high pressure blast of air hitting kids, especially around the head. But we're going to redesign it. We're going to keep the downward thrusting air blaster, sorry. Thinking paint still. But we're going to keep that. I need to replumb the storage tanks and the fill tube because we're actually going to add a second one. Last year, for those of you that watched the scare footage from last year, I had the camera set up to catch people as they were coming out of the mausoleum and passing under this. And with the way we had our sensor hooked up for it, and no matter how I moved it, it was getting, the air blaster was getting triggered before people were actually underneath of it. So I want to do a delayed reaction. So I'm adding a second air blaster to it. We're going to keep this one up, and I need to move the tanks for this air blaster over onto this side. Or that side. I haven't figured out which side yet. And then we're going to do a second one that's actually going to have tanks on whichever side I don't put those on. That will feed into a T that will run over to here and down the pillar on both sides. So we'll get them at the feet. Now I made the boxes out here. Let's see if any of them have the hole showing. I don't think they do. Ah, yeah. Right here, I left a hole on the box. On the arch that goes up front, I have it plumbed for fog, so fog shoots out that hole. On the exit arch, I haven't used it because I didn't have anything to put in there that I wanted to put in there. So what I'll do is I'll cut a hole here, and I'll have the air blaster feed through a pipe that will end up coming out of that hole in the box and get them at the feet. And what we'll end up doing is I'll have this one fire first. I'll get them to jump back, then do a slow count of 5 or 6, maybe 10 seconds, depending on how fast people are moving, and then I'll have the ankle ones go off. That way, if this one misses them, those will get them. You know, we'll get it for 2 things. And with the way I have this rig, it's more of a noise maker than it is really an air blaster. They still get some air, but it's more of a noise maker. So right now I've got to disassemble this, and I've got to figure out all the piping and stuff I'm going to need. And I have to go down and get fittings for it, which I'm doing today. So we'll start on this today. Whether we'll get it finished today or not, I don't know. It might be sometime tomorrow. But that's the end of the day on Wednesday. Just about dinner time. I'm wrapping it up. We've been doing a lot of prep work. I did go down and spend some time picking up the parts I needed to do the air blasters. I got home and we got the old air blaster out, and it's sitting right there. I am going to save it. I have an idea for a prop for the clown hallway, and I might use it in that. So it's still usable. I just got to get the air fitting back into that, get a new one of those. I'm cannibalizing that off of it to do the new one. Past that, I've been spending some time over here, I went and got my, made up some new storage tanks. They're all glued up. I'm going to let those dry overnight, or dry for a while. They don't really need to dry overnight. And then I got my check valves in, one for each air blaster. These will go in line from the air fitting where the air hose hooks up into the tanks, and then from the tanks down to these. And these are just a basic sprinkler valve to turn the sprinklers off and on. And I went and got the valves, the check valves, and those all ready. They're ready for install. About the only thing I want to do is the wire leads on this are only about 1 foot long. I'm going to get some my soldering iron out and stuff, and I'm going to add longer leads to them before I install them. And I will do that tomorrow. Other than that, it's using all those fittings, and I've got 40 feet of pipe to play with in case I make mistakes, and I always make mistakes. But I gotta get in here and start laying everything out and getting everything assembled, and hopefully it won't take too long. Should be able to get it done tomorrow. I do know I need to come in here on the other arch that goes on the entrance. I have a huge hole I cut into it to allow for a 2-inch pipe to drop through for the fog machine. Since I'm gonna do air in here, I've got to do the same thing. I've got to cut a hole out in order to drop the pipe down through the pillar. So I'm gonna have to get my jigsaw out and cut a hole both from this end and that end, and that'll be tomorrow. One of the things that needs to get done. But like I said, it's about dinner time. I'm going to call it quits. I'm still screwing with flyers downstairs. Got all the printing done on them. I'm in the process of cutting them out now, which isn't too bad. I only have, what was it, 800 of them to cut out. But hey, the printing's done at least. So I'll be working on that this evening. Have the flyers done sometime next week, and we don't hand them out until the end of September anyway. So. But past that, oh, one thing I did want to check on. There was a post on Hunter's Hangout a month or two ago, and someone was asking about making air blaster. And I made the comment that I did one out of PVC pipe. I got jumped by a guy. Basically, he's saying using PVC pipe is dangerous. You're just asking for trouble using it. And yes, you are, if you're stupid about it. PVC pipe, depending on what you get, they have two different types. They have a thin-walled, and it's good up to about 90 pounds, maybe a little less, PSI for pressure on the inside. I use thick-walled, and it's good anywhere from 225 up to 250 pounds pressure, which works out just fine as long as you have all your joints glued well. Because if the pipe doesn't fail, one of your joints could fail if you don't have it glued properly. But if you read the pipe, or when you pick up piping, it always has that strip of text on it, and it will tell you. It's not on this piece, but let's see. Trying to see if any of these show it. Nope, don't have that on it. But that's 2-inch pipe. It's good up to 225 pounds pressure. The 3/4 inch I'll be using for the rest of it's good up to about 200 pounds pressure. The air compressors that we use in our haunt, and I'm not talking about the little pancake compressors. Those only go up to about 90 pounds worth of pressure, and you can't use those for air blasters. They just don't work. It takes forever for them to fill. But if you've got the bigger air compressors like I've got there, or the 10-gallon ones, those go up to anywhere from 125 up to 150 pounds worth of pressure. Nowhere near what the tolerance is on the pipe. The pipe's, 200 to 250. So you still got a lot of wiggle room. So it is totally safe, so long as you glue your joints thoroughly. Sorry, flies. No, I ain't got the twits. But, so anyway, I figured I'd bring that up. But past that, I'm going to go get dinner. We'll see you guys next segment. Well, definite progress made. It's going on 2 o'clock on Thursday. And we got the air blasters done. I just got done test firing the switches, or solenoids, or whatever you want to call them. The electric switches. And then we went and I hooked it up to 90 pounds worth of air here, using the air hose and the compressor. This side here goes out to that switch and goes down into the old location. It worked fine. This one, let's see, it goes here and then into the storage tanks and then off over here to the switch, which goes down to those 2 pipes. I had a joint failure. I forgot to glue this joint right here. And when I got 90 pounds worth of pressure, I had a premature eruption, so to speak. The fitting blew apart. And it was a real simple fix, no damage done. All I had to do was go in and add the glue and put it back together. Then I tested it again, nothing's leaking, everything's firing just as intended. Now I have one more thing I need to do. This one here, and I've got pipe there and a pipe going down there. Dead ends right here on both sides. There's one dead end there, another dead end there. This is the top of where my pillars are. And I have same size pipe running up from the box the pillar sits on up into here, and it sticks up. And I'm going to use, since it's on the exhaust side, in other words there's no pressure here except for the air escaping when the switch opens, I'm going to use some clear tubing and a couple of hose clamps, and I'll put one end on this one, clamp it down, and put the other end on the pipe that's sticking up through here, clamp it down. And that will help direct the air down the tube and out at people's feet. I can't do that until I have this up on the arch, because I need to cut, measure, and everything else, which is the next step. And then we'll hook it up and give it another try and see what it sounds like. I do know with putting the check valves in are really nice. When I charge, hook the air hose initially up to this, both these tanks and those tanks fill. When I fire either of the switches, and it's probably going to be this one first because that's what people are used to, the only air that comes out is here. This one will not backfill into this one. That check valve prevents the air from going that way. The air will only go this way. And on this one, the air goes that way, not this way. So this one will hold its charge when that one's firing. And then once that one fires, both tanks fill. So, but it's working. It's for the most part done, other than getting that hose attachment and doing a test fire on it. Okay, we've got it set up. Sue was my first victim. She was my guinea pig. We just test fired it. Figure we'll give you another shot. Problem is I can't run the camera and operate the control box. Right now it's just touching wires to get it to trigger. So Swan's going to kind of run the camera at it. Here's the upper one. And she still jumped. And that was the lower one.
It's loud. It's an option. It's obnoxious.
That's the idea. And now the upper one was, like she said, way noisier. That's the one that made her jump. The bottom ones are coming out. You can see the white pipe sticking out there a little bit. If I do a short blast, it's not very much. But if I let it run, it sounds almost like a train horn. So I'm going to have to play with it in the haunt, but it's giving me the desired effect that I want. But with this project, last of the major projects, is done. Now, we got roughly a week, 2 weeks before we go into setup mode. In other words, setting up the hunt, and I go into daily vlog mode while we're setting up. I've got a bunch of small projects I need to get done. None of them are worth doing their own vlog for, because most of them are like a 1 hour project and they're done. So I think I'm going to do, instead of calling this vlog quits right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple of small projects here at the end of it. But redoing the pillars, redoing the boxes, and I dinged one. I'm going to have to touch up. I'm always having to touch these dang things up. But, and the pillars need to be wiped down. But with painting the boxes, the pillars, and redoing the air blasters, this project's done. So stay tuned. Next segment, I'll show you what we're going to be working on. I got to get this mess picked up and put away first before I can start anything else. So, well, welcome to Monday. And we've been doing a little bit of work. We got the big kitty out, and I got about a piece of inch or 3/4 inch plywood. This is what's going to go on top of the bump out that this guy's going to sit on. And I wanted to see if he was going to fit. And he does, just rarely. His feet hang over a little bit, but they are staked down. Each of the feet have a little loop on them that you're supposed to put a stake in them. I went and put a screw. When I mounted it on the hunt, I'll have a washer on that screw. I'll help hold it down a little bit tighter. But for right now, it works. I also went and got some flat bar, 3/16 thick flat bar. Had my friends down at the welding shop put those, and it's about a 45-degree angle on it. I've got that attached to the plywood and bent up for the tie downs on it. Even with the feet secured, this thing still needs tie downs on it, or the top half will whip all over the place when we get wind. And yes, we do get wind in October. We usually have a couple of windstorms that hits in October. I know there's been a couple of times the winds have gotten so bad I've had to unplug the blow-ups, because even being tied down they were whipping all over the place, and I didn't want them ripping and tearing. So I've had to turn them off. Now I also went through here and checked all the light bulbs in it. There was one out in the body, and what surprised me, I never looked and never noticed, there's none in the tail. But I also had 3 in the head, 1 for each eye, and the nose are out. So I had 4 burned out bulbs. We got the bulbs replaced. Now, my next project, I'm going to leave this set. I want to plug it in tonight, see what it looks like at night. My next project, and it's something we did earlier, I got up in the attic, I got all the blow-ups down, except for the Ghost and the Coach. The Ghost we tested at Camp Cornucopia, that street festival we did in July. It's working just fine, so I don't need to bring it down and do anything with it. And the old Pumpkin Coach, we're not going to use. The fan's getting tired in it, and it doesn't want to inflate and stay inflated. And so we retired the Pumpkin Coach until such time as I decide to go buy a new fan for it. But we've got, what is it, the Spider, the Dragon, and the Little Kitty down. I have some work to do on them. The Dragon already has the light bulbs checked. I did that a while back. But there's still some work I need to do because it gets mounted up on the tent as well. And I've got a piece of plywood with some guidelines that I need to attach to it. And that takes a little bit. So I'm going to get that out here and we'll get it set, get the plate on, I'll get it set up. And we'll do that with each of the blow-ups. And hopefully tonight I'll be able to plug them all in at the same time and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've, since the last segment, been working on the Dragon. Like I said, I have all the light bulbs and stuff in there fixed. And the Dragon already has its guidelines on it. You know, run from different points. That's all that rope is for. It's the different guidelines to hold this thing down. This is the part I've been working on here. It's a 16-inch by 16-inch square. I've drilled 4 holes in to hold the guidelines, and each guideline goes down to a different corner of the big tent. Now, to attach it to the Dragon, I'm going to the fan, and each leg of the fan has a hole in the foot. So I drilled 2 holes. That hole sits on the back hole on here, and I just run a zip tie through it, zip tie it basically to the platform. You know, fairly simple and straightforward. And that's how we attach things aerial to the tents usually when it's going to the tent itself. The big cat isn't going on a tent, and it's too big to do this with anyway. So, but just about ready. In fact, I am ready to get the fan attached. But I wanted to show you the platform first. We'll get it zip tied, and then I'm going to get out and we'll get it plugged in and inflated and make sure there's nothing binding or anything, and double check it. And that'll leave me 2 more blow-ups to do. Well, minus the Ghost, here's the blow-ups for the 2019 haunt season. This one here does not get any, does not go up on the tent. It ends up going in the photo op. The little cat will be on one of the tents, probably overlooking the photo op. The big cat will end up going on the bump out, hence the plywood and the tie downs I put on it. The Dragon goes up on top of the big tent, and then the Spider over here will end up going on top of the tent that covers the attack spider in the haunt, so it hangs down. People will see it when they come through. And then the Ghost, which is not out here, also goes in the photo op in the corner. Bought him to replace this guy. Now we got him working again. I gotta get him back out there. I love that big cat. Wish he was bigger. But all the light bulbs have been changed in these, and between the 6 in the Dragon and the 12 light bulbs I had to replace between these guys here, the Spider, the little cat, the cat with the pumpkin, and the big cat, we went through 18 light bulbs altogether. And I'm curious to see what they're going to look like at night. So I'm going to leave these guys out here. I'm going to go in and get some dinner. And later tonight, I'm going to come out and plug them in and see what they look like. And we'll give you a look at them then. Well, it's going on 9 o'clock. Set dresser's coming out. It's dark enough. Time to check the lights on the blow-ups. Nah, leave it on. She was asking if I wanted the light off. See? They look pretty, don't they? Takes a while for the big ones to inflate. Little ones blow up fairly quick. There goes the Dragon up, and the kitty is, as always, the last one up.
That's because I think he's upside down.
Nope. And the head takes a while to inflate. There we go. Lights are on. They look a hell of a lot brighter with all the bulbs in. And the head's coming up on the kitty. There we go. They're up and lit. And they look a lot brighter with all the lights replaced in them.
Yes, you said that.
I wish the big cat had lights going up the tail though.
I thought he did one at the one time, didn't he?
I thought he had too, but I opened it up and there's no chain going up the tail. But all the light bulbs work, and like I said, the cat takes a while to inflate. You can kind of see that one. The cat with a pumpkin doesn't have enough lights in it. It's always been kind of a dark one. But the Dragon looks really good all lit up with all its lights going. And you got the little cat. Yeah. And then the Spider's all lit up too. So there's a good nighttime preview. Tomorrow I'm going to get out here. We'll get these taken down, put away. I'll get the shop cleaned up, and we'll be starting on another mini project. We'll get you some footage on that one tomorrow. Face only on anything yet today. I've been working on a couple of small projects, and I've got one almost done. We did get the blow-ups put away. Sorry, itchy nose. The first project was this here. That's a blower for one of our Christmas blow-ups. We have a jack in the box, and it had a twisting handle on it, and then it popped up. You know, the lid opened and stuff, and some penguins popped out of it. A couple years back, we had it was sitting underneath a spot where a lot of water drained off the roof, and it froze. And when we turned it on that night, the cloth on the blow-up itself ripped due to the ice. So we pretty much threw the blow-up out by saving the fan. Now I went and bought, what was it? The last time I was down at West Coast, so was it 2019? It was 2018. I bought some bubble machines from Froggy's Fog, aka Tater. They work nice. You know, they put out the bubbles, or the cheaper ones. They just don't throw the bubbles out very far. I mean, they go out about 3 feet and then straight down. So I wanted some sort of fan to put behind the bubbler that would shoot the bubbles either up in the air a little bit more so they go out further or what have you. And I've been looking for fans. Started out at Home Depot. Bought these for 19 bucks. These things are way too weak. They didn't do squat. Bought this one. This one helps out a little bit. And then I have a box fan in the house that really puts out the air. And I don't want it outside, you know, during the times we're open. It's just too wet. And I got to thinking, I had that thing. So we're going to use this in conjunction with the bubble machine this year. But anyway, I had to go over and trim the lights off and, you know, make sure everything worked on it. Wasn't a very long project. The second project, and I just got done with, are these here, the cobwebs. These are the ones I wanted to put on that candelabra I made. Finally had them made, and I just got done taking my grinder to them, cleaning them up a little bit, and I sprayed them silver. I still got the back sides to spray yet, but these are drying. So while they're drying, I'm going to work on another project, another small project. And that is over here. You guys should remember this from this season. These are all the screw attachments and stuff for the foam panels. All of them, each bag is for a different display. And I spray them to match. Here, just get that lid out of the way. I spray them to match the skin, the wall panels. That way they don't stick out. Have them all done except for 2 bags. I got this bag and this bag. One bag goes to my graveyard set, and I never made it to redoing those this year. So I need to get these screws painted so they'll blend in to the graveyard pattern. This bag over here is going to be the fun one to do because it gets sprayed 2 different colors. This is a bag that's going to my witch display. You know, for my, the wall panels in my witch display. And that one right now is yellow and black. Or I mean yellow and brown. Excuse me there. But they're yellow and brown. So I've got to figure out how many I need for the brown area, how many I need for the yellow area, and then I need to get these spray painted. And and I figured this would be the perfect time to do it. Well, I have the time to do it. So I gotta get these set up on the foam down here and get those sprayed. Then they can sit off to the side and dry for a day or two before I have to do anything with them. But that's going to be my next project, and it's one of those small projects. Alright, a little bit more progress made. Got the washers sprayed. We got yellow, we got brown, and we got gray. So, now they need to dry for a couple of hours before I can put them away. Now I also have the cobwebs cleaned up. These tabs are bent over in the right positions, and we decided to spray it silver. I was going to spray them gold like I did with the Sunburst, but my spray can of gold was clogged up, so decided to do silver instead. Now I've got a doctor's appointment here in a little bit, so I'm going to be gone for a couple hours. Time I get home, those washers should be dry enough. I can get them put away. That project will be done. These will definitely be dry, and I can get those mounted to the candelabra, and I'll give you a look at it. Minus the skulls. I'm not digging the skulls out. But we'll give you a look at those cobwebs once they've been mounted into place. Well, welcome to Wednesday. I think I showed you the cobwebs in one of the other segments that I had designed. Finally, got them painted and installed, and we decided to leave the Sunburst. I didn't feel like dragging the book out to try it with the book on there, so that's going to have to wait till the haunt comes. But for right now, I am calling the skull candelabra officially done, so I can pack it away for another couple of weeks and then drag it out for the haunt. With that being said, I gotta get that thing put away first. But our next project is this. It's one of my 10x10s. This is one I used in my booth. And we had an accident happen. And one of the members, or struts, or whatever you want to call it, ended up breaking. And a couple others are bent. So, as the tent stands now, I can't use it at all. So what I'm going to do is I have two other tents that have some damage that we do use in the haunt. So I'm going to cannibalize this tent. In other words, the top is still good. These little fittings that hold the top on are still good. And the struts that didn't break or bend are still good. So I've got to totally disassemble this one and throw out all the bad parts, and then I've got two tent. I got one tent, one whole side of the tent, it has a bend in it and it's bowing in. I'm going to replace that whole side of the tent with parts from this tent. And then I've got another tent that has just one member broke on it, nothing else is bent, and it's a bit different style of a tent, but I think the members for it, or the struts, supports, whatever you want to call it, are the same size. So I'm hoping I can take one part of this and put it on that tent and have a totally functioning tent, and then that will give me an extra top too in case one of the tops gets ripped or damaged or something else. But that's another one of my little projects I need to do. But back shot of the skull candelabra, I gotta get this taken down, put away, because that thing might break that if it bumps into it. Well, I got one tent repaired. This one here. This is one that we used at the market for a couple of years, and we had it got caught in a windstorm. It ended up bending this bar, so I replaced it. Same windstorm bent it right here. So these two needed replacing, and these two also got bent. So this whole side was curving in. And we got those replaced, got everything tightened down. Now everything's pretty much as it's supposed to be, except for right here. And I think that's bent there too. But it's good enough to hold up, and I'm not going to worry about it. So this tent's, for the most part, done. Now I have one other tent. It's an older tent. It's not the same brand as my donor tent I'm getting the parts off of. And it's got, I believe it's the upper bar, this one here, that's broke. So it's missing that part. We've been using it in the haunt. I'm going to have to get it out and measure this piece and see if the donor tent can supply a new part for it to fix it, and then that tent will be up and good and going. But I've got to dig it out and sort through the tents to find it, because I'm not sure which tent it is. I've got like 6 of them in the storage locker. So that's going to be some work, and I am not going to cover that. Now, I also have one other small project I needed to do, and I was thinking about vlogging it, but I don't think I'm going to. These here, these black boards, these are the boards that do the framework for my clown, hammering clown for the pond. And as you notice, there's staples all down it on all the pieces to that. And then you see those black boards laying up against the fence. Those are boards that we use for the sewer room. Same problem. Staples all over the place. I need to get them into the shop and de-staple them. And I don't think I'm going to go ahead and vlog that. So with that, I think I'm going to bring the vlog to a close. Now, next vlog is going to be the official start of the setup series, which is a daily vlog. Vlogs will be up late evening for each day. We're going to be getting started. Originally I said September 10th, and I got to looking at the calendar. September 10th is a Tuesday, which is fine. I'm in town. I've got half a day Monday, all day Tuesday, Wednesday, half a day Thursday where I can work on the haunt before I have to go out of town. And then when I'm out of town, naturally you won't get a setup vlog for those days. But when I was looking at the calendar and all, I wasn't sure how my projects were going to go. I was going to leave Monday as a prep day. Since I'm only going to have half a day. I've got almost all my prep work done. I will have it done next week. So you might actually see a short setup vlog on the 9th, which is a Monday. If not, you'll get a full-length all-day vlog on the 10th. So keep an eye out either the 9th or the 10th. We're about, let's see, what is it, 12 days from the 9th and 13 days from the 10th. So 12 to 13 days from now, you're going to start getting some vlogs every day. Now, as far as posting them, they'll be up on my YouTube channel as well. And then I will be posting them on my personal page as well as the Haunted Tents page. And I'm going to have to take a look at things. I might end up starting a thread on the Haunted Tents business page too. I'm posting the setup vlogs there. I'm undecided on that one. If you guys have any feedback on that, let me know. I'm having trouble figuring out whether I should post a set of vlogs there or just leave that for pictures and the walkthrough video, scare video, and that sort of thing. But anyway, like I said, it's going to be on my Facebook page and on my Haunted Tents Facebook page. I will not be posting it in Northwest Haunters or any of the other group pages. Seems like every year I get complaints from some people for spamming the boards because I'm posting every day. So I've stopped, posting on the Hangout over in Northwest Haunters. But, so if you want to keep tabs, keep an eye on my personal page, YouTube, and Haunted Tents Facebook page. Starting either the 9th or the 10th, and we'll have a daily vlog all the way up until Halloween. So, or close to it. Depends on how long the setup takes. So, with that, we're calling it a quits. Stay spooky. Stay toxic.